Howdy YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Gunman. So today, something a little bit different. We're at home in my garage and we've got a couple of doors, the front and rear doors off my house. I've pulled them off because the paint is in very average condition. So I've turned my little garage here into somewhat of a spray booth. So yeah, I'll do a separate video on this setup, but I can tell you now. So I painted one door last night. I've already put that back in the house. I was really happy with the performance of this little spray booth. It's definitely better than what I had last time. There's a few reasons for that, but again, we'll go into that in a separate video. But this one here, I'll just take you guys through the paintwork on these two doors. So this is front and rear door on my house. The paintwork on them is terrible, right? Yeah, it's really not that good at all. You can see they've gone and put runs all over it, all over the hinges. They just painted straight over the hinges. This is exactly what I was talking about. So have a look at those locks. They just sort of paint around them. The finishes here are just absolutely atrocious. I don't know if I'm going to prime them. I would like to obviously get them back on the house as soon as possible. So yeah, exactly how I go about the job. Sometimes I just play it by ear and just sort of see what feels right. I'll start sanding. If I can get it all nice and smooth. So I did start sanding down here. I hit that with the 240. Now what ended up happening with the 240, it did a good job, but the piece of sandpaper sort of died after not too long. So I put the 180 on and that was definitely, it seemed to be getting a bit further, but maybe, I'm not sure if that peeling is because of the sandpaper or just, again, maybe just poor prep work on the behalf of the previous people, but let's get some primer down. So what the primer gun that I'm going to be using is this one here. It's the DeVilbiss GPG. Now this gun here, it gets a little bit confusing even for me that does know about it. So GPG means general purpose gun. It used to be called the GPI, right? And they've gone and made it so confusing. The PRI Pro Light is now called GPG as well. But ultimately, this is a wicked gun. This is a really good gun. You can get it in the 1.8, the 1.3, and I think yeah, the 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, loads of different tips. But if you want one of these, obviously be sure to go and check out spraygunsdirect.co.uk. But at this point, you should be going and buying yourself a Gunman Edition DV1, if it's out yet. But yeah, keep an eye on that. But yeah, the pots I'm using, this is again, Spray Guns Direct sent these out ages ago to review. I have not used them yet, but again, thank you Spray Guns Direct for sending these things out for me to review. And another cool thing about them is like they would send it out, and if I said nothing about it, they'd be cool with that. But here we go, let's see if these pots have mixing ratios on the side. Hopefully they do. Yes, that's cool, awesome. Now these ones here, I believe, I'm told they are basically PPS 1s. Because I believe that the PPS 1 patent has run out. So it's pretty much free game. Half of the battle these days is getting the getting these things. But I've got some, so it doesn't matter. Get a lid there. Oh yeah, you use these. Some of them are all sort of different styles, and some of them have got clip overs, but this is the old style. So, all right, let's go. What do we got? 4-to-1. Nice sort of thick primer. So this is the LVP 205. This can here was actually going to get turfed out because it's like a contaminated batch. It does happen sometimes with paints. There was like tiny little bits of grit through the primer when we were using it as a wet on wet. So the paint rep just said, man, we'll replace it. And he said, you can have that. Because I obviously can't use this at work as a wet on wet. All right, now that's another thing I've got lots of stirring sticks. Oh, I've got everything here. It's so cool to be like nice and organized. This is another little tip, a handy one to sort of keep the you got to keep your rim clean. Gunny, what the hell are you on about, man? So where are we? Where are we with the water one? Off we go. All right, so on with the compressor. I've been having this issue with the compressor where it's not turning itself off. I think it's like the shut-off valve's not working properly, so I've got to keep an eye on that. And it doesn't get too high. But if I'm spraying it, it's generally all good. I'll put my spray suit on. I wear one of these when I'm working, just pretty much half the time when I'm working around in the shed. But there we go, that's the door. So here we are the next morning. I got the front door all primed and the rear door is all prepped up. Luckily, I didn't have to prepare the rear door. I'll give you guys a quick look at it, but you want to say a quick hello to Sky first? This is my dog Sky. Hello. Hello YouTube. How you doing? She's good for microfibering when you're doing the polishing. She's so fluffy, aren't you, Sky? Yes. Hello. Say hello. I got another dog in there too. His name's Chucky. What's going on, Sky? When I start making a noise, she'll start running away, so. But either way, back to the job. Yeah, so I've got this in prime. I'm going to, I reckon these are high risk areas for cutting back through, right? So when you do cut through the wood, you're going to get that sort of, the suck back in. What I'm gonna do, look, I've got all day, it's Saturday today, so ultimately, as long as I get these painted today, they can sit overnight and then I'll put them back on tomorrow morning. But I do have some little imperfections here which I want to fix up. But yeah, look, this is the rear door, which I'm just going to paint straight over that. Now, it may not be perfect, but that's okay. This is the rear door, as I said, so I think it's going to come up actually pretty good. It's pretty smooth, but there are a few little bits where the wood grain has sort of sucked in, and that will show through. But yes, on the inside, so this is the inside of the door. So there was obviously this cream color or yellow color, and then there's the white, which you see here, but there was another layer of white which wasn't sticking. So luckily it was just that first top layer, and that it flaked off big time. It was an absolute mess. You might be able to still see some of it here on the floor. But one thing I found yesterday, this is actually a good little review point. I'm a big fan of the UV fillers, and I can do a good little review and sort of comparison between a couple of different products, right? So the torch that I'm using is still this one. This is actually wicked. It's awesome, little specular UV. Last I checked, they were about $1,300. They potentially could have come down because that was quite some time ago. One thing I really like about this one is that they use non-proprietary batteries. So what are they, 28 650s or something? I'll have a look over here. So I've got two sets of batteries. So one can be charging while the other one's in the torch. But yeah, sorry, 650 batteries, 30 bucks for two batteries. And once they die, you can just get a new set of batteries. I've just got new sets of batteries, and look at this thing. It just goes and goes and goes. You can throw it around. You don't have to be, you know, super careful with it. But as much as I do like Specular as a brand, their filler, look, they may have come up with a new one since this, but this M300, I'm not the biggest fan of it. So yeah, I found that like maybe it's partly due to the color, but with UV fillers, if you don't penetrate all the way if the light doesn't penetrate all the way down to the bottom, it's not going to cure properly. So this is why I'm a big fan of these Nuva fillers. So what you see here, they've got this like purple or pink one here, and that's sort of, it's transparent. It's that filler that you see on the edge of this one here. And then for like smaller ones, you've got the green. So this is a lot smoother. You can paint straight over it. Now what you see here, so this is the pink. So, well, actually I put some fiberglass filler, so polyester fiberglass filler through the guts of that. But then you can see that I did like a bit of a skim with the Nuva pink putty, which is clear, right? So that's obviously cured all the way through. Whereas like when I actually hadn't found the Nuva yet, because I found it in a box somewhere, and I was still using this on the front door, there was a few spots which would have cured properly if I was using the Nuva. So I filled it in, put the lights on it, and then started sanding it, and it started peeling because it obviously hadn't cured because the light hadn't penetrated. There's that beautiful word again. Sorry, I can't help myself. But either way, look, I'm gonna get this front door down and go around, fill up some of the last bits, sand it down, get it hung up, and then we're gonna be putting some color down. Can't wait. Rightio guys, so we've got the prep work all done. Went pretty smoothly. I started off with 320 grits. Want to make it nice and smooth, and then after a bit I'm like, nah, 240, flipped it over to the other side, stuffed this 180 and just ripped into it. Made it nice and smooth. I'll give you a quick close-up look at it. There was a few spots where I did have to put a little bit of that UV body filler, which I've got. Look, again, it's not going to be perfect, but I'm sure I'm going to be more than happy with how it comes up. Yeah, like I say, it was in a pretty bad way. So next up, we're going to mix some color up and splash some color on. So had a little bit of a win just there. I fixed my compressor out there, so it was not turning off. There's like a little pressure switch here, pressure control switch. All I had to do is open it up, and there's two little knobs on it. One must be when it turns on, and the other one must be when it turns off. So I had to play around with them, and I've got it working properly now. So that's a win. I no longer have to go, and I thought I was going to have to get a new thing. So yeah, luckily I don't have to, so that's good. So it's probably been about 3 hours since I painted it, and it's already touch dry. Like, well, more than touch dry. Like, I could actually comfortably put that back on the house now, but I do have to paint the surround, so it's still going to be a couple more hours before I do get it on. But I do want to get it on tonight because I don't have any doors on the front of my house, so I really do need to get it done. But I was really happy with the way that the spray booth or the garage performed. I was really happy with the way that the clear coat performed. So liquid glass with some of that speedster additive in it, heated it up to about 30 degrees. And I'm just blown away at how clean it is. Like, there are a couple of nibs in it, but yeah, it's really clean. Like, not like there's lots of little ones in there, which I thought the potential for it, because like I did all my prep in here. I didn't even get crazy with the cleaning. Like, I didn't put water down on the floor because I was a little bit concerned. I didn't want to sort of flick water from the floor onto the doors that I'm painting. This is my other dog. I think I mentioned his name's Chucky. Hello. He's actually blind, this boy. He's a beautiful doggy, isn't he? Good boy. So yeah, like, have a look at that. Like, it's relatively nice and clean. Look there. If you look close, yes, you can see a few imperfections in it, but you don't really seem to look at houses the same way that you look at a car. You know, sort of a bit more from a distance, and it's got that sort of nice gloss to it. When I started on these doors, like, they put all this paint, like they didn't even mask up the windows, and they just got paint all over the edges. So what I did was got like a wire brush, like even just a wire wheel, but by hand, razor blades, and I cleaned it up. Like, I'm really happy. Even the locks here, they had paint all over it. So I spent, while I was waiting for the paint to dry, just sort of spent an hour sitting out there in the sun, cleaning up all the locks so I can reuse the old locks, because locks are actually quite expensive. A good set of locks is pretty expensive, so being able to reuse what I've got is yeah, definitely a good thing. This is a rear door, so as I said, I didn't prime this door, so it doesn't look quite as good, but again, you know, from a distance it looks really good. It looks totally fine. There's a doggy door down the bottom there. That's the inside here. What have we got? Bit of light in here. How good is that? I'm so happy with it. I'm going to paint the rest of the doors in the house too. But again, you know, the spray booth garage works really well. This is my filter. I've got another one here which it does need changing, but really impressed with the performance on this booth. Like, you can see there's the dust, and that caught so much overspray. Like, pretty much most of the overspray got caught in that. It's performing so much better than what it was last time. There's a few reasons for that, but we'll go into detail into that in another video. What was the other thing I was going to mention? Yeah, so what I did when I was painting, I had the door open just like a little bit like that, and what it was doing, it was like, I actually, after I finished painting, I had a look outside to see what the airflow was doing, whether or not I was actually getting physical fumes going out the door, because I did last time. Like at my old setup, every time I would open the door, you could see the overspray bellowing out. But what's happening now, it's actually kind of working like a spray booth. That's your inlet, right? And that's your outlet. So it actually isn't going out my inlet. So there's obviously enough suction through here that it wind tunnels through there. So look, it just works. There you go, this guy just likes walking around in circles. Good boy, Chucky. Say bye-bye to everybody. Can we get a sign out from Chucky? Anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed watching. If you did, be sure to give us a big thumbs up. Until next time, get out there and paint your doors.